Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to Lewis University Television Network. Today is March 5th, 2026. I'm Brandon Najera.
And I'm Christian Kluver.
President Donald Trump has fired Kristi Noem as Homeland Security Secretary. Her ouster follows several days of tense questioning on Capitol Hill and growing frustrations among GOP lawmakers, White House officials, and most importantly, the president. Noem has faced scrutiny over her conduct in her position, including her alleged romantic relationship with her chief advisor, distribution of the funds the department had received, and her conflicting accounts over fatal incidents involving federal immigration agents in Minneapolis. Trump himself was angry with how hearings on Capitol Hill went this week, particularly her assertion, which he denies, that President Trump was aware of an extensive DHS ad campaign that featured her. The president had indicated in conversations with some Republican lawmakers that he was open to replacing her, and this Thursday afternoon he made it official. President Trump announced Noem will be replaced by Markwayne Mullin, a U.S. Senator from Oklahoma.
The Pentagon has now identified the 2 remaining U.S. service members who were killed in a drone attack in Kuwait on Sunday. Mayor Jeffrey O'Brien lost his life in the attack. The 45-year-old from Indianola, Iowa, has assigned to an Army Reserve unit in the state. 54-year-old Chief Warrant Officer Robert Marzin of Sacramento, California, was also identified by U.S. officials. Recovery of the 2 likely took longer because of the condition of the building that was hit. O'Brien and Marzin were both supporting the resupply and sustainment of troops in the Middle East. And the 4 other soldiers who'd previously identified were all part of the same Army Reserve unit from Iowa.
A California mother was found guilty Wednesday for throwing drunken sex parties for teenagers. Prosecutors say some of these parties took place at her home. The woman is now facing at least 30 years in jail after being convicted on 48 counts. After the verdict was read, parents in the courtroom said that O'Connor is a child predator, a stalker, a harasser, a groomer, and it's too late for sorry. They've relived to hear the verdict. They say she's getting what she deserved, and they're very thankful for the jurors. O'Connor was found not guilty on one claim that she was harmed a child in a way that was either life-threatening or not likely to cause bodily harm, but guilty on counts related to all the other charges. The jury also said she was guilty of all charges involving providing alcohol to children and of charges of dissuading a witness from reporting a crime, annoying or molesting a child, and aiding and abetting sexual penetration between the underage teens, a felony. O'Connor's attorney said O'Connor is crushed and disappointed by the verdict, especially after the felonies were a primary focus of the defense.
A new proposal by a Tennessee lawmaker seeks to end drink spiking at bars. The bill would strengthen penalties to drinking, spiking, and require bars and restaurants to carry drug testing kits. While adding a substance to someone's drink without their knowledge is already against the law in Tennessee, the penalty for doing so isn't clear. The proposal would classify this as a Class D felony, with a prison sentence of up to 12 years and a max fine of $5,000. A person could face an additional charge if an assault occurs as well. Bars and restaurants would be required to keep at least 10 drug testing strips on hand each night, and if the bill is approved by the Tennessee legislature, it would take effect in July.
And now to end the segment with some positive news, the California house that starred in the Brady Bunch television show stands as more than just TV history. It's now an historical cultural monument. This designation is the result of a unanimous vote by the Los Angeles City Council. The 2,400 square foot home on West Dilling Street was used for exterior shots of the legendary sitcom. The show ran from the 1969 through 1974 and has lived on through reruns and watched by several generations. Last year, the Brady Experience allowed the public to tour inside the rooms where Mike, Carol, and the kids lived. Up next, international news. We'll be right back.
It is a new day for jobs and careers, and the skills needed to compete are rapidly changing. This is why more students are choosing Lewis University. Lewis prepares you for emerging opportunities in some of the most highly sought-after fields. Higher education is the most crucial investment you can make in your future. Lewis provides you with a lasting education that will launch you towards success today and strong, growing careers of tomorrow. Begin an education that will pay dividends for a lifetime. Learn more at lewisu.edu.
For over 50 years, WLRA has been on air showcasing countless students. As the first all-digital college radio station, Lewis University students are given access to industry-leading equipment. Equipment that commercial stations utilize, equipment that creates, and equipment that brings radio to life.
I like WLRA because it gives me the opportunity to get experience with news broadcasting and working with radio.
Stop by De La Salle 210 or at WLRA Radio to get started on your radio career.
Everyone has a ritual. that small thing that keeps us focused.
A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out that self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and your mental health.
Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
The U.S. closed embassies in 3 countries, reduced its regional diplomatic staff, and warns Americans to leave the territory. United Arab Emirates announced the opening of safe air corridors with its neighbors. The administration seeks to reassure citizens by telling them that they're working to bring them back home on Tuesday. The administration said that it's evaluating options, including the use of military aircraft and charter flights to relocate U.S. citizens to the Middle East who wish a departure. The efforts come days after the United States and Israel launched their operation against Iran, resulting in retaliatory attacks by Iran against countries all across the Middle East. Efforts to help Americans return to the U.S. also occurring while the State Department is reducing its diplomatic presence across the region. The State Department ordered the departure of non-essential personnel and their relatives from 6 countries, including Bahrain, Iraq, Jordan, Kuwait, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. Due to security concerns in recent days, the government staff has been instructed to remain in shelter in several countries. The United States has promptly closed diplomatic facilities in Pakistan, Beirut, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait due to security risks.
An ambulance driver in Forlì, Italy, is under criminal investigation on suspicion of murdering at least 5 elderly patients. Prosecutors say the 27-year-old transported the patients for non-emergency medical transfers between February and November 2025. All 5 suffered cardiac arrest during or shortly after being taken to the hospital or care facilities. The ambulance service became suspicious after 4 patients died following transport in his vehicle. Working with Italy's Carabini officials installed hidden cameras and recording devices inside the ambulance. Later that month, an 86-year-old woman died during transport from a cardiac hospital to a rehabilitation center. An autopsy led prosecutors to formally open a criminal investigation. Authorities say the deaths may have been caused by poisonous substances or other concealed methods. The driver has not been arrested, but has been suspended from duty. He denies the allegations and has requested a hearing. Prosecutors say he could face charges of voluntary multiple homicide.
The Trump administration takes another step towards combating drug trafficking. The U.S. military is starting operations with Ecuador, focusing on designated terrorist organizations in Latin American countries. In a statement, U.S. Southern Command says that both the U.S. and Ecuador will take, quote, decisive action. Pentagon officials wouldn't get specific about these new operations or what groups may potentially be probed. The White House's Operation Southern Spear has killed at least 151 people who were alleged drug boats in the Caribbean and in Eastern Pacific.
Drivers are seeing the biggest one-day jump in gas prices since Hurricane Katrina. According to AAA, the national average rose 11 cents Tuesday, bringing the average price to $3.11 per gallon. The spike follows U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, a critical global oil shipping route. Iran has also launched retaliatory attacks targeting oil infrastructures in several oil-rich U.S. allies in the region.
Qatar is condemning retaliatory Iranian strikes on the U.S. bases and territories in its neighboring Arab nations, calling the attacks a flagrant violation of its sovereignty in a statement posted on X. Qatar said that it reserves the right to respond under international law and warned strikes undermining its ongoing mediation efforts between Iran and the United States. Qatar said that it worked to stay out of the regional conflicts and promote dialogue, but repeated attacks on its territory threatened bilateral relations with Tehran, Iran. Also targeted U.S. Bases in the United Arab Emirates, Jordan, and Bahrain, following a joint U.S.-Israeli strike inside Iran. We'll be right back with our local stories. Stay with us.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
there's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
This month, Lewis University has been highlighting its female students and staff during Women's History Month. With more is Christian Kluver on how the university is celebrating its women through art.
From science-inspired sculptures to nature-driven visual storytelling, the Women Artists at the Field exhibit puts women at the front and center during Women's History Month, exhibiting how creativity and discovery come together through art.
The exhibit, Women Artists at the Field, showcases work inspired by the Field Museum's collections, blending scientific discovery with visual storytelling. Artists Rebecca Banasek, Peggy McNamara, and Adrienne Stroop use their work to connect viewers with history, nature, and the imagination behind scientific exploration.
So when I started at the Field Museum, I created this piece as a going away present for my friend Susumu, who was a postdoc. And so it shows him working in the field out in the Washakie Basin, which is a place out in Wyoming. And as you look at it from top to bottom, it goes from like the present day, although it was in the 50s, down to 50 million years ago, and the types of animals that you find in the Washakie Basin.
This exhibit not only gives women who are in art and science the chance to display their work, but also gives students the chance to view working artists and a chance to see how their work brings visual expression to life. The Women Artists at the Field exhibit will be on display until March 13th here at Lewis University. For LUTV, I'm Christian Kluber.
Wow.
It was honestly such a great event. Again, any event that supports women, especially during Women's History Month, is super important. I love doing things with the art gallery. It's probably my third or my fourth package with them. So anytime that I can work with Natalie Swain, I absolutely love it. It was such a great opportunity, and thank you guys so much for having me.
I mean, I, for one, like the pictures. I think, you know, each one has its own story.
Oh, for sure.
Really
for sure. I loved
it.
It was tied to the Field Museum too. Not only because it's so Chicago-based, but again, it also ties art with science mixed with women. I just think it was such a great topic. And like I said, I was so glad that I got to be there for it.
Of course. Well, thank you, Christian. This week, the Village of Romeoville announced new development projects expected to bring more businesses and retail to the area in 2026. Village officials say several projects are already under construction or in the planning stages. The developments include new restaurants, grocery options, and additional retail space for residents. Leaders say these projects will help support local job growth and expand services in the community. Officials say the new businesses will attract more visitors to the area. More details about the developments are expected to be released later this year.
Police in the region are continuing to address safety issues related to traffic and driving behavior. Authorities recently reported an incident involving a driver from Romeoville who was stopped for speeding in a nearby community. Police say that the driver was found with an open container of alcohol, THC vape devices, and a stun gun. The incident is part of an ongoing enforcement as efforts across Will County. Officials say traffic safety remains a top priority for local law enforcement. Residents are reminded to drive safe, responsibly, and to follow local laws. Up next, entertainment with Gianna Siasha.
All right, look at you taking the stairs. Who are you?
We're your lungs. We are proud of you for quitting smoking, but you still may be at risk for lung cancer.
A routine cancer scan can detect it early when it's more curable. Good to know. Well, I gotta go somewhere.
So do we.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy taught him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
For over 50 years, WLRA has been on air showcasing countless students. As the first all-digital college radio station, Lewis University students are given access to industry-leading equipment. Equipment that commercial stations utilize, equipment that creates, and equipment that brings radio to life.
I like WLRA because it gives me the opportunity to get experience with news broadcasting and working with radio.
Stop by De La Salle 210 or at WLRA Radio to get started on your radio career.
Multiple sources are refuting online conspiracy theories, confirming that Jim Carrey personally accepted his award at a ceremony in France last week. Speculation had circulated on social media suggesting that a look-alike appeared on stage in his place. However, Carrey's representative, along with the general delegate of the awards program, have both stated that the individual present was the actor himself. Much of the confusion appears to have originated from a post by drag transformation artist Alexis Stone, known for using prosthetics to resemble public figures. The post displayed a mask and wig and included the caption, "Alexis Stone as Jim Carrey in Paris," prompting further speculation. Observers also noted that Carrey appeared somewhat different than usual, but organizers maintain there is no basis for the claim. Spider-Man co-stars Tom Holland and Zendaya are reportedly married. According to the actress's stylist, Law Roach says that the 29-year-old Hollywood stars wed in a private ceremony, though details haven't been publicly confirmed. Rumors began circulating last month after Zendaya was seen wearing a gold band, replacing the diamond ring she previously wore to the Golden Globe Awards in 2025. Zendaya currently stars in the HBO series Euphoria and the film Dune Part 2. While Holland is widely known for portraying Peter Parker in recent Spider-Man films. Representatives for both actors did not immediately respond to the request for comment. Ozfest is returning to the set in 2027 with the blessing of late Ozzy Osbourne. Speaking at a conference in France last month, Sharon Osbourne said the festival is absolutely coming back, noting that she and her husband had agreed before his death that the event would continue without him. The revival follows a nearly decade-long hiatus, with the last Ozfest held in 2018, just weeks before the Black Sabbath frontman became ill. Sharon Osbourne says organizers plan to make the return even bigger while staying true to the festival's heavy metal and hard rock roots, with the possibility of expanding into additional genres. There are also no plans to relaunch Ozfest as a touring festival. Osbourne died last July at the age of 76, just weeks after a final hometown performance in Birmingham. Bad Bunny's halftime performance at the Super Bowl has reportedly shattered global viewership records. According to Apple Music, the National Football League, and Rock Nation, the show generated more than 4.1 billion views within 24 hours across broadcast, YouTube, and social media platforms. Following the performance, Bad Bunny's catalog accounted for nearly a quarter of the songs of Apple Music's daily Top 100 global chart, with his halftime setlist becoming the most streamed collection on the platform. Organizers say the milestone represents not only a record-setting night, but also a defining moment for global music culture. Justin Timberlake is taking a legal action following his DUI arrest, seeking to prevent the release of police body camera footage recorded in Sag Harbor. In court filings, the singer's attorneys argue that making the video public would constitute a violation of privacy and could cause significant harm to his reputation. Timberlake was arrested in Sag Harbor in 2024, and local officials had previously indicated that portions of the footage could be released. However, those plans are now on hold as legal dispute moves forward. Up next, new news in medical world concerning popular weight loss drugs, that story and more with health correspondent Sharon Sharian after these messages.
It is a new day for jobs and careers, and the skills needed to compete are rapidly changing. This is why more students are choosing Lewis University. Lewis prepares you for emerging opportunities in some of the most highly sought after fields. Higher education is the most crucial investment you can make in your future. Lewis provides you with a lasting education that will launch you towards success today and strong growing careers of tomorrow. Begin an education that will pay dividends for a lifetime. Learn more at lewisu.edu.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
We start this health segment with some breaking news from the World Health Organization on measles. A meeting organized by the World Health Organization to review the measles outbreak in the U.S. has been delayed 7 months. The special meeting, slated to take place April 13th, will now happen during an annual meeting in November. Its purpose is to look at data that will help determine if measles should still be considered eliminated in the U.S. The disease has held that status since 2000. Elimination means local transmission of the virus has not persisted for more than a year. What's not known is if a current outbreak is linked to last year's cases. The meeting was delayed to give researchers more time to sequence the virus genome and look at other specifics. There's a recall of dog treats pet owners should be aware of. 6-ounce bags of Elite Treats chicken chips for dogs have been recalled due to a risk of salmonella. The treats were sold to feed stores in Alabama, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. At last check, there were no reports of any dogs getting sick from the treats. If you have any, stop using them and throw them away. You can email the company at elitetreats@yahoo.com to request a refund or replacement product. A popular barbecue sauce sold nationwide is being recalled over a labeling mix-up that could pose a risk to people with food allergies. According to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, Georgia-based Savannah Bee Company is recalling some 16-ounce bottles of honey barbecue sauce mustard. Some bottles labeled mustard were actually filled with a different product that could contain wheat and soy not listed on the label. The company says the mustard version should appear light yellow, but the mislabeled bottles contain a dark brown sauce instead. The affected bottles have a best-by date of May 16, 2027. No illnesses have been reported. You should throw the product away and contact the company for a refund. A new study suggests the popular weight loss drugs may also be able to help treat addiction. The researchers studied about 3 years of health records for more than 600,000 veterans with type 2 diabetes. They were treated with either GLP-1 medicines or another type of medication. The researchers found those who took the weight loss drugs were less likely to develop substance use disorders. That is compared to those who took the other class of medication. Those who took the GLP-1 medicines were also less likely to have bad outcomes, such as a drug overdose, if they'd already been diagnosed with a substance use disorder. Up next, a look at your local weather with Christian Kluver, followed by sports with Jaden Elmore. We'll be right back after these short messages.
All right, look at you taking the stairs. Who are you? We're your lungs.
We are proud of you for quitting smoking, but you still may be at risk for lung cancer.
A routine cancer scan can detect it early when it's more curable. Good to know. Well, I gotta go somewhere.
So do we.
So do we.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back, Flyers, to your weather forecast for this week. We're going to roll right into it. We are going to start with our 7-day outlook this week. Monday, it was partly cloudy today, Thursday, it was cloudy today, 50 as our high, 39 as our low. Rolling into the weekend tomorrow, it is going to be a little bit of rain. There might be some sunshine though. 64 is going to be our high. A warmer weekend, 59 is our high on Saturday, 61 is our high on Sunday, partly cloudy on Saturday. However, a nice bright and sunny day on Sunday. Same thing with Monday, our high is going to be 69. Tuesday, our high is 66, 43 as our high on Wednesday with a little bit of rain to end out the week. Our temperatures look like they are getting up there, which is great to see. Now on to our temperature changes for today. 4-degree change in Rockford. Same thing up in Waukegan. The biggest change was actually down by us where we are at between Joliet and Cicero. An 8-degree change in Cicero, but 13 in Joliet. All the way out east in Indiana, LaPorte was a 4-degree change, and South Bend a 6-degree change. We are looking at our radar right now. Everything is pretty much past us. As we can see, there are definitely some storms out here by Cleveland going up to Toronto. However, it has passed all of us. Southern Illinois might still be getting some scattered showers, but Chicagoland region looks great. And to get into, actually, it looks like our weather wall. Actually, just kidding. We are good. Tonight's low temperature is 43 in Rockford, 37 in Waukegan, 45 in Coal City, and same thing in Joliet, and all the way out in Valpo, 43 in LaPorte, and 45 in South Bend. And to end out tonight's high temperatures, 53 up in Rockford, 44 is a high in Waukegan. Out where we are, it was teetering between 55 and 51, 54 all the way down south in Kankakee. And when we get out to Indy, 50 and 52 in LaPorte was tonight's high temperatures. We are going to pass on to Jaden Elmore now with sports. That was all for your weather this week.
A freshman swimmer from Peoria Richwoods is gaining statewide attention after winning 4 gold medals at the Illinois Athletes with Disabilities State Swimming Finals. Jude Hill often stands out as meet only for his results, but because he competes without feet after a lawnmower accident at age 3. His performance at last weekend's state meet was kind of dominant, taking first place in all 4 of his events. Guiding him through the season is Coach Shane Lefty Morrison, who also lives with a disability and says Hill's determination reminds him of his own path in the sport. Hill says he's proud of what he's accomplished and grateful for the people he's met along the way. His 4 state titles have quickly made him an inspiration, both in and out of the pool. Lewis University's track and field qualified 6 entries for the 2026 NCAA Division II Indoors Championships. The senior Denise Hernandez heads to the Nationals in the long jump, entering ranked 7th after winning both the NCAA Outdoor title last year and the GLVC Indoor title this weekend. Evan Horgan will run the 3,000 and 5,000 meter, ranking 17th and 6th nationally after sweeping both GLVC distance titles. Abraham Christian will make his first NCAA appearance in the high jump, entering ranked 13th in Division II. Levi Graham is ranked 2nd nationally in the weight throw after winning the GLVC title and finishing as the NCAA runner-up with both the weight and hammer last year. Neo Rasmus also heads to the first NCAA Indoor Championships in the heptathlon, ranking 12th nationally after winning the GLVC title. All 6 Flyers are set to compete on March 13th in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Lewis University's women's basketball picked up major postseason honors as Ali Sorensky was named GLVC Defensive Player of the Year, becoming the first player in program history to earn the reward. Cesarini also landed in the All-GLVC second team and All-Defensive team after averaging 11 points, nearly 6 rebounds, and ranking 13th nationally with 3.4 steals per game. Mallory Remage earned All-GLVC first team honors after leading the Flyers with 14.6 points and scoring in double figures 20 times. Yajera Bueno was selected to all GLVC second team, averaging 12 points and leading Lewis with 113 assists, including a double-double against LinkedIn. Cree Nunnally was also recognized with the James R. Spalding Sportsmanship Award for her character and conduct throughout the season. Lewis opens the GLVC tournament on Friday at noon against McKendree in St. Louis. After 3 years, the World Baseball Classic is back. This international baseball tournament features 20 national teams from around the world. Many of these teams feature MLB stars and competing for the title of world champion. The first game of pool play started yesterday and will end on March 17th. Team USA is entering the tournament as a heavy favorite after placing second last time around. Their strong lineup is filled with names such as Aaron Judge, Bryce Harper, and Kyle Raleigh. But the competition will be tough. Their top opponent, Japan, has historically dominated the tournaments in the years prior, as this year will be no different. You can catch all World Baseball action on Fox. Men's World Cup excitement is building as Tuesday marked 100 days until the start of the 2026 FIFA World Cup in North America. Matches will begin on June 11th and continue through July 19th across 16 host cities in the US, Mexico, and Canada. Fans are already looking ahead to key matchups, packed stadiums, and the return of some of the world's biggest stars to the global stage. One lingering question is whether Iran's national team will take part, as the federation has not yet confirmed its plans for the tournament. Travel restrictions in the certain U.S. cities would limit fan attendance, but players and coaches would still be eligible to compete. Meanwhile, qualifying players later this month in Mexico will determine the final 2 teams rounding out of this summer's field. That's it for sports. We'll be right back with Brandon and Christian right after this.
It is a new day for jobs and careers, and the skills needed to compete are rapidly changing. This is why more students are choosing Lewis University. Lewis prepares you for emerging opportunities in some of the most highly sought-after fields. Higher education is the most crucial investment you can make in your future. Lewis provides you with a lasting education that will launch you towards success today and strong growing careers of tomorrow. Begin an education that will pay dividends for a lifetime. Learn more at lewisu.edu.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused.
A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game? To drown out that self-doubt and support your mental health. Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and your mental health.
Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
That's it for today's news. As a reminder, you can always keep up with Lewis University Touchdown Network on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and by visiting our YouTube channel. I'm Brandon Najera.
And I'm Christian Kluber. Have a great night, and we'll see you next week.